Forecast and Instructions from Jesus, Part 3. Events, Rapture, Tribulation. Call to repentance and messages regarding rapture and who will be raptured. Excerpt of Jesus' message to Clare, My Bride, Now or Never, from December 13th, 2014. Jesus began, Are you willing to go into your prayer closets and comfort me? Or will you be with the rest, shopping, selling, celebrating, when it all comes down? Where will you be? In the ark? Or at the high places paying tribute to the world? Where is your allegiance? Is it to me, to yourself, or to the world and Satan? Where are the things that most matter to you? In the bank, with your family, friends, with me? Where is your allegiance, my bride? Where will you be when the floodwaters suddenly rush in upon you? I'm calling you now to make that decision. I am calling out to my bride, tearfully. Please, please come with me into the ark of my love. There you will find me suffering, and there you will find my protection. Yes, I'm suffering, and will continue to suffer until evil is no more. Yes, I weep over my bride who has gone to the mall to sell herself once again, abandoning me for the glitter of this world. This is a simple message. There is nothing complex about it. I need her company. I need her comfort. I long to be held tenderly and loved, to have the salve of her sweetness greet my eyes, the purity of her voice lull me into a sleep, taking me far away from what I must see and hear every day. Please, my bride, abandon your ways with the world in this holy season and come into me, into the secret place, the ark of my love. Nourish and tend to my wounds. Make me forget those who have walked away cold-hearted, caring nothing for my plight. You have no idea what one glance from my bride means to me. Just imagine yourself in a crowded ballroom, a gala to celebrate the king's birthday. Everyone is parading their beauty through the door and onto the dance floor, to be noticed and ogled over. Everyone is caught up in their next catch, the game that never ends. Power, position, wealth, and fame. Then suddenly, there is the fanfare, all turned towards the door, and in walks the king, reading the minds of every single person in the room. It is an irritation to them to stop and acknowledge him as the fanfare goes on. They were so caught up in the lust of the moment, to break from it is painfully annoying. And there he stands, in regal attire, the sovereign of their whole world. As he glances over the crowd, unknown to them, he reads the thoughts and feelings of everyone in the room. There in the corner sits a little wallflower. She has no interest in the pomp and splendor, the game or the catch. She is caught up in the beauty of the king and nothing more. Stunned by the beauty of her soul and amazed that she is so different from the others, he graciously walks over to her, lifts her to her feet, and places her hand on his arm, and announces, I have found the one worthy to be my queen. All the others are shocked and incredulous, their mouths drop open. Silence is deafening. She's an absolute nobody. Look at her shoddy attire, and her family is not even royalty. As I glance over you, my brides, what am I forced to see? What will be in your thoughts, your heart? Will you be impatient with me because you have a long shopping list and it's getting late? You just can't wait to get to the mall. Or will you be overcome with emotion? Your king is in your midst. this is the bride I'm looking for. She is so in love with me, she has no time or interest in shopping, only in being with me. She'd rather drink from my bitter cup than dine sensuously with her friends. I'm here, covered in sorrow, over the plight of your world. Yes, I say your world because it doesn't bear any resemblance to my world. I'm in sorrow for what is to come upon you so suddenly, that there will be no escaping it. I have sought my bride, I've gone to the malls, the dining rooms, the galas, and I have found her flirting with other men, engaging in lewd sexual conduct, reveling in the filth Satan has offered up for her enjoyment. Now I'm weary of calling, searching, begging. I'm so very weary. If you're going to come back, you'd better do it quickly. There's hardly any time left for you. It is now or never, my brides. Now or never. Now or never. Excerpt of chapter 32 of the Third Testament. Incarnation and Duty of Man. From time to time, your Lord has revealed the existence of the Spirit, its existence and its arcane. For even though you bear it within you, the veil that the material wraps you in is so dense that you cannot come to see that which is most noble and pure in your being. Many are the truths that men have dared deny. Nonetheless, belief in the existence of a spirit has not been one of the most fought against, for man has felt and has come to understand that to deny the spirit is like denying your very self. Human matter, when it has degenerated because of its passions, its vices, and its materialism, becomes a chain, a blindfold of darkness, a prison, and an obstacle to the development of the spirit. In spite of this, you have never lacked an interior ray of light to help you in your moments of testing. Truly I tell you, the purest and most elevated expression of the Spirit is the conscience, the divine interior light, that makes it the first, the greatest, and the most noble of all the creatures that surround you. To all the people I say, the highest and most beautiful title that man possesses is that of child of God, though it is necessary that it be merited. That is the purpose of the law and the teachings, to inspire you in the learning of my truth, so that you may be worthy, children of the Divine Father, who is the sum of perfection. You know that you were created in my image and likeness, and when you say it, you think of your human form. I say to you that your likeness to God is not physical, but spiritual. In order to liken yourself to me, you must perfect yourself by practicing deeds of virtue. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am justice and goodness, all of which proceeds from divine love. Do you now understand how you should be in order to be in my image and likeness? In you there is a reflection of the divine. In truth, you bear me. The intelligence, the will, the powers, senses, and virtues you possess speak of an essence superior to that to which you belong, and are a living testament of the Father from whom you sprang. At times, the image of me that you carry within you manage to stain and profane with disobedience and sin. In that you are not like me, for it is not enough to have a human body and a spirit to be the image of the Creator. Your true resemblance to me is in your light and your love for all your fellow men. I made you in my form and image, and if I am the Trinity in one, then in you too exists the Trinity. Your material body represents the creation in its formation and perfect harmony. Your incarnated spirit is an image of the divine Word that was made man to trace a path of love for men in the world, and your conscience is a radiant spark of the divine light of the Holy Spirit. What merit would your spirit achieve acting in a material body without free will and sensuous tendencies? The struggle of the spirit with its material body is one of power against power. In that crucible, the spirit must test its superiority and its elevation. That is the trial where the spirit has often succumbed momentarily to the temptations of the flesh. The power exerted over the spirit is so strong that it seems that the supernatural and evil power was dragging it toward the abyss, causing it to be lost in the passions. How great is the responsibility of the spirit before God! The flesh is not bound by this responsibility. Notice how once dead, the flesh will forever rest on earth. When will you achieve enough merits that will make your spirit worthy of living in dwellings which are more perfect than the one in which you now live? The world offers you crowns that only speak of vanity, of arrogance, and of false greatness. To the spirit that knows how to disregard those vanities, another crown is reserved in the hereafter, that of my wisdom. Life should manifest itself first in the spirit, then in the flesh. How many beings have dwelt on earth, but how few of them were spiritually alive and have manifested their spiritual grace to humanity, that divine spark given to man by the Creator. If men can maintain transparency in their consciences, through them they shall be able to contemplate their pasts, their presents, and their futures. The spirit is similar to my arcane, and oh, how much is contained in that! At every step and in every instant there is something to reveal to you, manifestations, at times so profound that they are incomprehensible to you. That spark of light that exists in each human is the tie that unites man to the spiritual. It is that which puts him in contact with the beyond and with his Father. Oh, if only your material form could take in that which your spirit receives through clairvoyance. For the spirit never ceases to see, even when the body, because of its material nature, perceives nothing. When will you know how to interpret your spirit? You who do not love life because you regard it as cruel, as long as you do not recognize the importance of the conscience in man, or allow yourself to be guided by it, you will find nothing of real value. It is the conscience which elevates the spirit toward a superior life, above the flesh and its passions. Spirituality will enable you to feel the great love of God when you succeed in practicing it. Then you will understand the importance of life. You will contemplate its beauty and will find its wisdom. Then you will surely understand why I have called it life. After knowing and understanding this teaching, who will dare reject it, saying that it is not the truth? When you understand that within the conscience is your true value, you will live in harmony with everything created by your Father. Then the conscience will beautify the poor human life, but first it will be necessary for man to withdraw from all passions which separate him from God, in order to follow the path of justice and wisdom. That will be the beginning of the true life for you, this life which today you regard with indifference because you do not realize what you are despising, nor imagine its perfection. Excerpt of Jesus' message to Clare. Lay down your life and stand beside me. From August 10th, 2016. Jesus began, I am calling you, my brides, to lay down your lives and stand beside me in this race against Satan's tyranny in this country and the world. I'm calling you now, and for the next 3 years, to lay down your agendas for being in heaven and give me your whole hearts as an offering for this country and the world. As America goes, so goes the rest of the world, and now it is your mandate as my spouse to stand for what is right. Back me up, pray, offering every cross you are given, for my kingdom comes, my will be done. You as intercessors are standing at the pivotal point of the entire world's salvation. As this country goes, so will the world follow, and this is but the beginning of a purging of evil in the entire world. Can I count on you to back me up? Can I count on you to stop beating my messengers and pray about what is truly important to me? Can I count on you to be focusing on my agenda rather than your religious agendas and finding fault with everyone and everything I send you? Some of you are so wrapped up in your own opinions and your own lives that you refuse to hearken to my messengers. To you I say, strengthen what remains, lest I come and take even that from you. Walk on the straight and narrow path, not the path of your flesh and fancies. Lay down your lives for me, lay down your opinions, political and religious agendas. Lay down your critical spirits and stop tearing my kingdom and people to pieces. Those of you who will not hearken to this message will find life increasingly difficult, as I allow you to be sifted as never before. Perhaps then it will dawn on you that you are not gathering with me, but dividing and scattering. Perhaps then you will realize, even as the conscience of America has realized, that she has been asleep to the realities and allowing her nation to be stolen piece by piece. In your lives, as things are taken from you, will you wake up and stop dividing my body? I give you this word now, because I'm sorely disappointed in you. Where I expected to depend on you for support and encouragement, you have dissembled and destroyed. Perhaps you will see this as the weeks go by, and you notice things are being divided and taken from your lives. Wake up, those of you who think you are for me. Wake up and stand on the right side. And for you, my brides, who have faithfully stood by me on this channel, I will visit you with my choicest blessings and hold you tenderly in my arms, where I shall restore your souls. Drink from the living waters of my heart. Drink deeply and be restored, refreshed and prepared for the battles ahead. With me and for me, you shall do valiantly. Excerpt of the Lord's message to Clare. What is delaying the rapture? From April 24th, 2016. Jesus says, tell them to stop praying for their relatives. Tell them to stop praying for their country. Tell them to stop praying for the world. Then I will come much sooner. Am I to ignore the believers that fast and pray and gather together praying for the nation? Am I to turn a deaf ear to my people when they humble themselves and turn to me? It's just as simple as that, Clare. If you are in such a hurry to be raptured, then stop praying. Lord, the way I see it, forgive me if I'm wrong, there are three kinds of believers. The weary in well-doing, the bridesmaids that fell asleep, but are still waiting for your return. Then the true lovers, who also are waiting and longing, but are doing all in their power to bring all mankind to you. Their lamps are still full. They are the ones who are holding back the rapture, even though they look like the ones who can't wait anymore. And finally, those who have been born again, but are busy in the world and don't want to hear about your coming. Is this your thinking or mine? It's mine. I've put these thoughts in your mind so I could help you see where you stand before me. The ones who are anxious and in a hurry for me to come have not conquered their flesh yet. They are wavering, growing weary, and even falling asleep. Their lamps are empty. They react badly when I'm delayed to the point of wanting to give up and fall in with the rest of the world. Not at all concerned about the lost they do not see. Yes, they give lip service and pray, but they'd rather be raptured now than suffer any more for the sake of the millions who are yet unsaved. They do not see as I see, think as I think, nor feel as I feel. Many on our channel are this way, my bride. My brides, I love you, but you must see yourselves in my mirror, if what is left of your life is truly an offering to me. The ones who are in the forefront of ministry, working hard while the day yet dawns, they are my lovers. They are the very ones who will be raptured, even against their will on a certain level. They are so in love with me and dedicated to my agenda that they pray for the nation and the world, expecting me to hear them and grant leniency and mercy. These are the ones I am eager to have with me in heaven. They are the bridesmaids with lamps full of oil. Then there are what I call the worldly and truly backslidden Christians, who do what is convenient. They support missions, give to ministries, and lead the good life, enjoying certain aspects of the world. They too pray, but when push comes to shove, they will bail out or snap to. They are not well acquainted with suffering, not on the same scale as the lovers are. The bridegroom was delayed a long time. They all became drowsy and fell asleep. Matthew 25:5. He was delayed a long time because he was on a search and rescue mission, and just when he thought the last one was found, more started coming in out of the crevices of the mountain, running towards him. What was he to do? Keep on going, or stop and pick up the tender lambs in his arms and bring them home? You see, the world does not revolve around you. It revolves around the ones who still have not been found. I am not in the position to call the question. The Father is, and when He sees fit, I will get the call to come get you. Until then, I'm busy about my Father's business, and I'm asking you to be as well, my bride. Eternity is assured to you, but for many there is no hope. Remember, the shepherd left the 99 and went after the one, and you must do likewise. As you are lifting this precious one in your arms, the trumpet will sound, and you too will look up into the skies and ask, "Now, Lord, but..." Excerpt of the Lord's message to Clare. Time is short. What will you be doing when I come? From July 3rd, 2017. Jesus began to speak regarding the rapture. The awareness needs to stay current, Clare. People tend to forget and bury themselves in work. And for those who bury themselves in work, I'm pleased beyond words. But for those who are still sound asleep as concerns my coming, the alarm should be sounded. Those of you, my people, who are working hard for me, yet knowing I'm coming soon, you are doing the right thing. Those who have thrown down their work for me because I'm coming soon, in you I'm disappointed. I have been faithful on this channel to tell you exactly the conditions you are under with time. There is no excuse for writing off the things I gave you to do because there is no more time left. That is a lie from Satan, that you have no time to complete your tasks. I would not have assigned them if you could not get them substantially done. If they would have no impact because of the shortness of time, I never would have assigned them. This is precisely what I warned you not to do. There is time for you to do what I have asked, and I'm asking again. Press in. Do not leave off with your labors of me. Press in. Do not get lost in the expectations of me returning any moment to the point that you stop applying yourselves to your assigned tasks. Please, my people, I'm gathering fruit from your efforts. You're presenting a priceless example to the world. Yes, the Lord is coming soon, and I'm doing all I can for Him until He takes me from the earth. I'm working like I've never worked before, because I know He would not assign this work to me if it was going to be fruitless. I am looking at the souls that will benefit from my work for Him, and this keeps me going. That is precisely the attitude you are to have in this hour, to a T. Tell the world I'm coming soon, time is short, but make your life count for me. Do not work for the world, work for Jesus. Do all you can in the time left to you. Make every minute count for Christ. That's the message I want to put out. Work mindfully for the good of the kingdom. Be deliberate with your time. Do not waste it. Then you will be balanced and prepared for what is soon to come. Excerpt of the Lord's message to Clare. You know what would disqualify you for the rapture, from April 7th, 2017. Jesus says, Clare, for 9 years I have been preparing you, and you still have a ways to go. It is my mercy that is holding the rapture back while moving on the hearts of men to understand that they are not ready and they need to be now. As he was speaking, this scripture came to mind. The Lord is not slow to fulfill his promise, as some understand slowness, but is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. 2 Peter 3:9. I'm not saying you won't be taken, that's your decision. You know what would disqualify you. As long as you hold to the right way, you are safe to assume you will be taken. If you are deliberately in disobedience and rebellion and turn from the right way to follow your own will be left behind. Right now it is looking good for you, but guard your ways, my bride. The enemy is clever and has his sights on you, and not just you, but all ministers. The sheep follow the shepherd, and if the enemy can mislead you, the flock will follow. This is why ministers and their children are a big target. Excerpt of the Lord's message to Clare. A selfish use of time could cost you the rapture, from May 18th, 2017. Jesus began, This is a truth. There are many channels talking about this catastrophe, that failure, this bomb, that EMP attack, North Korea, comets and tsunamis, and first airstrike from them or us. The chatter is all over the place, but thank you for not giving in to curiosity and remaining securely in my presence. Oh, thank you for that, my bride. But here is what I want to say, my dear ones. You may look all over the internet and get the latest dream, latest warning, breaking circumstances, on, engineered to keep you chasing your tails. Now, if you take instead the opportunity to fast and pray, because these reports are scary, well, good for you. But if you keep stocking up food and preparing, you've lost the focus I had for you. May I say it again, for the umpteenth time? I want you gathering in souls in the ways I have counseled you in the most recent messages. Yes, the rapture will happen. Everyone is talking about it and predicting when. Isn't it amazing that none of these tsunami warnings and other things like comets are not happening? Almost as if they were non-existent. I do need your prayers and fastings, but not your constant state of mind, which can think of nothing but your own security and that of your loved ones to prepare for events. This is a selfish use of time and could very well cost you the rapture. While you're waiting, I've given you this channel and other to guide you into what you are to be doing in the interim. This is a place you gain strength and inspiration to continue to cultivate your gifts and destinies. And if you spend your time drinking in the bad news, some of which has been deliberately manipulated for selfish motives, you are being misguided and putting yourself at risk. Those who are about my business, I will protect. Those who are about their own business, well, they are busy protecting themselves, so they don't need me to help them. They pass by the poor on the way to buy survival gear. It would have been so much better for them had they spent that money on feeding those who are going without food that day. Excerpt of the Lord's message to Clare. How we can recognize if we will be raptured, from April 11th, 2015. Jesus began, I love my brides with a love beyond imagining. So many are worried about their status with me, as if I were a legalist with court documents listing every offense. No, that is Satan's description. I'm more like a lover reading every action of their day with great interest, as a love poem to me. Everything they do out of pure love for me and their brother, this is my consolation. Even on the cross, these marks of affection comforted me as I looked into the future and saw how much they would love me. And so I've accumulated these gifts, these marks of love, and pondered them several times a day. That is, in what you could call a day. Yes, like the petals of dried roses, I contemplate their meaning for me, and I rejoice that I have such as these willing to give for me, willing to deny themselves for me, and see to my needs first. If only my bride knew the great joy I derive from the little things she has done for me, out of pure love and no other motive. Most are motivated by what means the most to them: money, beauty, notoriety, acceptance, opportunity. These are the things that drive them. But then there is my bride. She is motivated by what she can do to please me. My bride is so insecure about the rapture because she equates me with men. Yet I'm not like any man she has ever met. I'm not a vicious, prosecuting attorney. Rather, I'm a lover, counting my rose petals, watching the mailbox for more being sent to me. Every day I anticipate the sweet fragrance of her love, translated into action. Acts of love, showered randomly on those she comes in contact with. I watch to see her heart, so much like mine, wanting to bless and relieve burdens, yet honest and true with those who are in need of correction. My bride, if you have separated yourself from willful sin and are careful each day to love those I send you, you need not worry about being taken to heaven with me. I am looking forward to that day we celebrate our love with such great longing. Are you forgiving injuries and doing good to those who hurt you? Remember how excruciating was my pain on the cross? Yes, well, even in that state, I was looking towards the welfare of the very men who crucified me. Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. And when the crowd gathered around the harlot caught in adultery, I did not join in condemning her. Rather, I lifted her up to her feet with the admonition to go and sin no more. And the Pharisees took the last penny from the widow. I did not compliment the rich for their elaborate gifts. No, I exalted the little one that gave all she had, while others gave from their excess. And when the disciples fought over who was greatest among them, I was quick to point out that it is the least, the servant, who indeed has primacy. Why? Because this one serves the needs not of himself but of others, consistently, day in and day out, while the rich young ruler is preoccupied in increasing his worldly wealth and position. The servant is eager only to see others increase. Have you been living this way, my brides? If you have, then you need not fear being left behind. I cannot wait for that first dance at our wedding reception. If you have lived the Beatitudes, you need not be concerned about being left behind. More in Part 4. Links to PDF and website below the video.